guys, so I'm going to introduce today my hidden veggie meatballs, or as I tell the kids, my Dr. Seuss meatballs, because they end up coming out green, so it's kind of like an homage to green eggs and ham or something. So it's kind of just fun for them and it's healthy. The meatballs consist of spinach, 2 carrots, I want to say it's about 2 or 3 cups of spinach, 2 carrots, I quartered them, a half a tablespoon of adobo, a teaspoon of cumin, and about either a half a tablespoon or a tablespoon of Mrs. Dash salt-free, ground turkey, and 2 eggs. I use red lentil pasta. It looks orange, but once you cook it, they come out white. And it's just made with 1 ingredient, which is red lentils. Got it from Trader Joe's, about $2.99 or so. So pretty, somewhat affordable. This feeds a family of 5 to 6. And then I'm just doing like a basic, tomato sauce with rosemary, thyme, basil, garlic, and onions, and some peeled tomatoes that you kind of just hand crush. So I ground up my spinach. I ended up using like maybe 2 cups of spinach, but I used all my carrots, and I ground it up pretty good, pretty fine. So my food processor comes with this attachment, so I put it in there, and in here I'm gonna add my meat, the eggs, and my spices. So this is some olive oil. I'm only putting about maybe a tablespoon in here, not too much. And this is just my own homemade. I bought good olive oil and I put a rosemary leaf in there and I love it. To this pan, I'm going to add my garlic, my onions, my rosemary, and some thyme. So I'm putting in my garlic. And then I'm going to put in my onions. And I'm just going to wait until they get soft. Get a nice coating on everything. And I'm going to add my rosemary and my thyme. You could put these in a cheesecloth if you want, but I kind of just add them this way and just kind of just take out the branches and leaves once everything gets nice and tender. And I'm just going to cook these for about 5 minutes or so. So by this time, things are still softening, but you can really start smelling that rosemary kicking up and that thyme kicking up into the air, and it smells really aromatic and smells just absolutely yummy. So at this point, if you're not hungry, you're going to be hungry. Alright, so I'm just sprinkling some sea salt. Just a little bit to just bring out that garlic and onion flavor, and really just add a little bit of flavor, and just a little bit. You don't need much, because really you don't want something salty. You really want something aromatic and where you taste a lot of the basic flavors. So while the onions and garlic and all that stuff is kind of just tying together, I already preheated my oven to 375. And I am making my meatballs. I make them about a teaspoon at a time, and it's gonna be wet. It's gonna be wet and it's gonna be a bit sticky, but that's okay. You're not going for really big meatballs. And I put on gloves because, well, I'm a girl and I like to take care of my nails. So, and it's just, you don't want to overhandle everything. It's just, they don't have to be perfect meatballs. Just, put them together that way. And you're going to put them in the oven for about 20 minutes. Okay, so my meatballs are done and set. And I forgot to mention, I lined my baking sheet with parchment paper. So that kind of helps them not stick as much. So I lined it with parchment paper, and I'm putting it in my preheated oven at 375 for 20 minutes or so. So my garlic and my onion are pretty well toasted. I'm adding some canned stewed tomatoes, and to these, as a good friend of mine told me, you just kind of squeeze them just to make a quick and easy at-home marinara sauce. She suggested, and since she made this suggestion, I started making it this way, and it was the best thing ever. The marinara sauce comes out, the tomato sauce comes out just really light and just absolutely scrumptious. I just squish them in here to my mix, and to that I'm going to add a little bit of basil. It's called Gourmet Garden, and I just love the stuff because sometimes I don't go through the basil as fast as I would prefer. So I use about a tablespoon of basil, and because I personally love the taste of cilantro, I put about half a teaspoon of cilantro in there. So. Alright, so you're going to cover, and then you're just going to let it simmer, because for the most part it's basically almost cooked. While I've been making this, I've had a pot with water beginning to boil for my pasta, my red lentil pasta. I don't add salt to it because I've learned that the red lentil pasta picks up salt very easily. So I normally avoid salting the water, and I will salt and add some olive oil once it's cooked. Alright, so 10 minutes into cooking the meatballs, I just went ahead and I flipped them. And now I'm going to add the pasta to a rolling boil water and just give that a spin. And you cook these for about 8 minutes or so. And then if al dente 8 minutes, and if you like it fully cooked and soft like my kids do, about 10 minutes or so. You're going to rinse your pasta, and you're going to run cold water over it to just stop the cooking process instantly. Alright, I'm adding the pasta to my tomato sauce. So here is your gluten-free dinner with carrot and spinach meatballs, hidden meatballs, or Dr. Seuss meatballs with a homemade tomato sauce and just a sprinkle of Parmesan. And enjoy your flavorful dinner.